Should designers learn to code? This is the age-old question in the tech industry, isn't it? As a designer, do you have to know HTML, CSS, JavaScript? Do you have to build all your websites from scratch to really be considered a web designer? I used to just say flat out that no, designers do not need to know how to code. And I've changed my mind on this over the past few years. I believe now that learning to code, at least getting a basic understanding of HTML and CSS, is like understanding the materials in which your final design will be built. It helps you to better understand the limitations of it, what's possible, even expand your mind as well and give you some new ideas of things you could try because you know what's possible in code. And I think it helps with developer-designer relationships as well. So my answer to this should designers learn to code question recently has been, you don't have to, but it helps. In the interview that I did recently with Julia Jaskulska, who is the senior marketing designer at Buffer, this topic came up, as it naturally does in many conversations about web design, and I thought she had a really interesting take on it. So let's roll the clip. And what does your collaboration process look like together? How do you work with a developer, and what have you found to be some, I don't know, useful ways of getting, because something we always struggle with as designers, right, is taking the design from our design software to the web, and like, I don't know, there's always something that looks different, but things that you do to minimize any of those differences.
Yeah, I actually think that our relation with developer is super important, and this is something that we as designers should always work. I'm actually in the group that thinks we are designers, we don't have to code. Actually, maybe we shouldn't, but I think that
another hot take.
But I think that it's important for us to know the power and limitation of certain solutions that we come up. So actually for me, Webflow is a great tool. It's no good tool, but I know what we can do and I know what is time consuming. I try to loop developers early so they also can like come up with their own ideas. Like I want the developer to be partially a designer, and I also want me to be partially a developer. So it doesn't mean like I have the code, but there has to be like some overlap. So I try to loop them early. I don't want to have like a waterfall effect that, okay, this is ready designed. This is a package. There you go. Because then developer, they don't know what they are building, why they are building. And I think this is important, that developer is not only like the constructor of something that we do. They should know what problem we are solving, because they have completely different mindset, at least from mine, and they have brand new ideas. They are super creative people. They know the problems, and so yeah, I think this relation is super important, to be open and to not be treated like designers, developers, like cat and dogs. So it shouldn't be that.
Yeah, I totally agree with you on that. I think that it's been super valuable for me to work closely with our developer to, understand if something I'm designing is going to add to the build time. Then I can be like, well, it's not really that important. We'll take that bit out, or, just, it makes a lot of sense. It helps you be more efficient as a design professional, understanding that, I think. Totally agree there. You should really check out this full interview with Julia. It'll be linked on a card, also in the description. It's the latest episode of my interview series, Inside Marketing Design. But I really like Julia's approach to this. And I like that she called out Webflow as like a no-code tool that you can actually use to get a good understanding of code. I like that Julia said straight up, no, I do not think designers need to know how to code. But what she ended up describing was a very similar approach to what I have on the topic, which is that designers and developers need to be able to understand each other's language, right? I like that she called out as well that she likes working with developers who take a creative approach to it, that developers are not just constructors like banging nails into place, that they have creative ideas too, and that you win when it's a true collaboration. You can talk to the developer about the design, the developer can talk to you about the code, and you can both understand each other. And that's key, right, to any working relationship, is having a shared understanding. Because of my code knowledge, which is not something I put into practice these days, to be honest, but because I have it, it, and because I've done it in the past, I can give really good, clear, detailed feedback to the developer that I work with on changes that need to be made when I'm reviewing a website, which definitely helps to speed up the process. I can keep the code in mind as I'm designing, especially when I'm designing something on a tighter time frame. So I know that if the thing that I'm putting in together in pixels on the page is going to be really hard to code and going to really add to the build time. I'll put it this way. I think that learning to code has made me a better designer, but that if I went any further in my code development knowledge, I would be taking the learning time away from my current focus, which is getting better at design, getting better at management. And those are the two like future areas that I see for my career more than code. So I'm not continuing to develop that understanding because I have the good base in place already and I don't feel like I need to go any further. I would love to hear where you stand on this topic. Are you a designer who thinks that actually you don't need to know a single bit of HTML and CSS to find success? I know that many designers do. It's just not what I have managed in my career so far. Tell me about it. Share a bit down below in the comments. And if you're a designer who does know how to code, do you do a lot of it? Is it like a basic comprehension that you have? Are you actively coding a lot of the time? Have you learned through Webflow? Share a bit about it in the comments. There are so many good like discussion topics that come up in my Inside Marketing Design interviews, and this was just one of many from the episode about Buffer that I did with Yulia. Please go check out the full interview. It is linked on card in description, insidemarketingdesign.co, or just open up your favorite podcasting app and search for Inside Marketing Design if you want the audio only version to listen to on a walk or a drive or something. I think topics like these are really interesting and important to talk about, but also, as with everything, like do what works best for you. Thanks for watching. I'm keen to hear your thoughts on this like hot button topic, which has been a hot topic for many years now in the tech industry. But yeah, share them down below in the comments, and I'm just going to move over to the side so you can watch the full episode right here. I'll see you over there. Bye.